Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kuber. Another live session today to discuss this exciting new immigration pathway. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that there would be this huge mega draw with 27,332 ITAs with a CRS score of 75? And then who would have thought that they would suddenly, out of the blues, invite 90,000 people under the streams, which, at least I would have never thought. Like, for example, the cashiers, the stockers, the truck drivers, some health workers under the knock codes, which are categories C and D, skill type C and D. I wouldn't have thought, but it's happening. And the issue that I'm having, I'm being stupid by saying I am having, all of us are having, the issue that we are having is that we don't know what's happening. IRCC, wake up. You have only tick tock, 10, 12 days remaining. What do we have? Oh, sorry, no, exactly 10 days remaining. And we haven't heard anything from IRCC as to what exactly is going on. What are they thinking? What are they planning? What is the application guide looking like? What is the application package looking like? So all of us are just left on our own to imagine, right, how it's going to look like. Well, imagining we are, and in the meanwhile, while we are imagining and trying to figure out, let's use some of the experience that we have gained, as well as so many other immigration professionals have gained, and in our exchange with them, we are able to figure out at least few things. So I'm here today to discuss those things which will at least give you a bit of insight of what IRCC is trying to do, what they are planning to do. There was a technical briefing that IRCC did hold, which was last week, with the representatives, with the immigration professionals, whether it was the lawyers or the consultants and their bodies. And they basically gave a bit of an insight as to what we can expect. Now, mind you, it was a technical briefing. It was not a full-fledged rundown of how it's going to look like, but a lot of it has been left to our imagination as to what we can expect. So I will just give you a rundown of what I have, or rather what I have understood from what we can expect. We will once again, and I know it might get boring for some people, because we will again go through the eligibility criteria, because it is still not clear for so many of you. You are still getting confused with certain requirements, with certain issues or certain criteria. So we'll very, very quickly go through them. We will come down to what you can do to prepare yourself come the 6th of May. And then, of course, we will then just dive deep into the questions and answers and take all the questions that you have one by one. And then we will try and answer as many as I can before I gotta go run, because it's my daughter's birthday. And as much as she's quite upset with me that I'm doing this and not going out with her, but I have promised to take her out for dinner. And this is Dubai, it's Ramadan, and the night is young, basically, and I will take her out. So that's a different ballgame. But let's start with what we are talking about. Firstly, what do we know? We know that it's going to start on the 6th of May and it will run until the 5th of November. In the comments, please let me know, what do you think, which of the streams, and I will talk to you about streams, which of the streams is going to fill up fast and why? Okay, so the first stream is health-related occupations, where you have 20,000 slots. The second one is eligible essential occupations, where you have 30,000 slots. Then obviously you have the international students, the international graduate stream, where you have 40,000 slots. The total that it comes down to under the 6, actually it's not 6, it should be the 3, because the other 3, which are the French speakers, they don't have any intake limit. So the 3 immigration pathways have an intake limit of 90,000 applications. Similarly, the 3 intakes that I just told you about will also run for French speakers, where there is no intake limit. So these guys have it pretty cool. And if you are one of the French speakers, well, you don't have to worry about a lot of things I'm going to talk about, because by the time you are ready to apply, things will be much more clearer and you will know exactly what has to be done. And also on that note, I must also tell you that if you are not a French speaker, but you're an English speaker, and you will be applying, or rather you'll be fighting for one of these slots under the 90,000 applications. If you miss the slot, you still have almost 6 months to pick up the language, to pick up French as a second language, score CLB4 or CLB5, depending on which stream you will be eligible to apply. And if you're an essential worker, if you're a health-related, if you're in a health-related occupation, pick up CLB4 in French. If you are an international, if you are in the international stream, pick up French CLB5, and you will still be eligible to apply right until November 5th. Okay, was that the date? Yes, 5th of November. So there you go. In the comments, please, I want to see some comments and see. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think is going to be the stream which will fill up first? I can see lots of comments coming up. International graduates. Ayan Khan saying international graduates will fill up. Okay. Oh, should we be employed full-time, part-time? Okay, Alam, just give me a few moments. We will come back to the questions in a bit so that we can, then come before I forget what I was going to talk about. Right. So yes, even I think so, because international graduate stream will fill up first and very quickly. And the reason for that is that there are, in the last count, which was earlier of 2020, there were more than 700,000 international students in Canada. Most of them, I'm assuming, would have completed their degrees or diplomas. And if they have completed their degrees and diplomas, then technically they will all be eligible to apply, provided that they are still in Canada at this point of time, or rather at the time when the application has to be submitted, and they have a valid work permit, or they have applied for a work permit and are on an implied status. So let's go very quickly through the requirements, because then we can talk about other things. So this one, the first one I'm going to talk to you about is the international student stream. Okay, let me just pull up my screen here. All right, yes. So what do we have here? After a lot of background information, very quickly, as I said, we're going to go through very quickly, and then I will answer your questions as and how you have them. Okay, you should have completed your credential prior to January 2007, or rather, sorry, my bad. It should have been completed in the month of January 2017 or later. Okay, so it cannot be prior to this date. Prior to January 2017, you should have completed your degree if you were, that's what you were studying, or you should have completed 2-year diploma program, or 2 different programs of 1 year each, or 8 months each, or 1-year diploma, as they would like to call it. If you have completed only a 1-year diploma, and where is that gone? Yes, if you would have completed only a 1-year diploma, then that should lead to an occupation in skilled trade. And I will just go through the skilled trade categories very quickly in a bit. So if you have a degree which was completed in Jan 2017 or later, if you have 2-year diploma which were completed in Jan 2017 or later, or if you have 2 separate 8 months diploma or 1-year diplomas, which both of them you completed in the month of Jan 2017 or later, then you will be eligible to apply. But if you have only a 1-year diploma or 8-month diploma, which is not leading to a skilled trade listed in Annex A. So if we scroll down very quickly, these are the Annex A categories, right? 7201, 7202, sheet metal workers, boilers, iron workers, welders, plumbers, carpenters, cabinet makers, and then there's the whole list of categories. So and then there is, of course, chefs and cooks, butchers and bakers. So coming back again, guys, the link for this, what I'm reading out, the link for that is in the description, so you don't have to worry. So your 1-year program has to be related to the skilled trade that I just showed you. Otherwise, you will need to have at least 2 1-year diplomas or a 2-year diploma or a degree. That is what you need to qualify for this program. You will have to be employed in Canada with a valid work permit or authorization to work, which basically means that either you should have already applied for your postgraduate work permit. Let me come back into the screen. Yes. So yes, either you should have applied for the work permit already. So you'll be on the implied status. So if you haven't applied for your postgraduate work permit and completed your degree, do apply for your postgraduate work permit. Or you should have already got a work permit. So these are the 2 categories you should be aware of. And then you should have attained a level of proficiency, benchmark 5, which is CLB 5. You should have completed your IELTS. You should have got a result of IELTS. Now, technically, they would have expected you to provide a hard copy of your IELTS results, but recently IRCC announced that they will accept online results as well from IELTS or CELPIP if you have given them. So even if you have given your IELTS or CELPIP and you only have online results, provide that, and they will also be accepted in this particular, for this particular program. You should be residing in Canada with a valid temporary resident status. Again, you have to be, and very, very critical, these two things. You have to be physically present in Canada. You cannot apply for this application if you are physically not in Canada. And you also should be in Canada when your application is approved. Very important. If you're not in Canada, it's very unfortunate. We already know that the flights out of India have been cancelled. They have been banned at this point of time for at least 30 days. So if you are stuck, unfortunately, if you cannot get to Canada before that, and if you are not working at that point of time, you will not be eligible to apply. You have to be intending to reside outside the province of Quebec. Well, if you are living and working in Quebec, that is fine, no problem. You can still apply. You just need to provide a resettlement plan that you intend to live outside Quebec. That is also fine. Excuse me. That's just about it. And your family members, whether they are inside Canada or outside Canada, it doesn't matter. You can include them in your application. By family members, I mean spouse, common law partner, or dependent children. So you can include them in your application, and they will also become permanent residents once your application is approved. And that's just about it. And then we have the second, let me just close this one. Where did we go? Okay, Chrome tab. Yes, so the second one, or rather the two other streams that we're talking about, again, the link is in the description, so don't worry about that. Fluff there. Background again. Conditions, you should have accumulated. So what I'm talking about is the essential worker stream, where you have two streams, 20,000 and 30,000 slots. Let me just scroll down first and show you that here. Okay, yes, these are the intake caps. Stream A, maximum of 20,000 applications. Stream B, maximum of 30,000 applications. And the stream A and stream B are defined by way of your occupation codes. But let's go through the eligibility first. They have accumulated at least 1 year of full-time work experience in Canada within the last 3 years. Your full-time work experience is 1,560 hours over a span of 12 months. Yes, this work experience could also be part-time work experience. That's also fine. But obviously you will have to be working longer, because keep in mind, IRCC does not accept working hours or other hours more than 30. So if you have worked for 40 hours, 50 hours, that cannot be compensated. So you cannot be working more and then say, okay, I worked only for 8 months, but I did 15, 60 hours. Will I be eligible? No, you will not be eligible, because you have to be working 1 year full time. So one year duration has to be completed. That is extremely important. Stream A is, again, 1 year work experience should have been acquired in one or more occupations listed in Annex A. Cannot be combined with occupations in Annex B. Okay, and I will just show you which NOCs are in Annex A. And in Stream B, the 1 year of work experience must have been acquired in one or more occupations listed in Annex B, or a combination of occupations in Annex A and Annex B. So there you go. So there's a difference in these two streams, which basically means that if you are in Stream A under the health worker stream, your occupation could be in more than one NOC codes as long as both those NOC codes are under Annex A. All right, but if you are applying under Annex B, which is the other eligible occupations, then you can have combination of work experiences which falls in Annex A or Annex B or Annex B, cumulatively. So very important for a lot of you out there who may not have exactly 1 year of work experience only in one NOC, but in multiple NOCs. So this is something which you should pay attention to. Okay. At the time of application, you should be employed in Canada in any occupation. Any occupation means basically any occupation, but you cannot be self-employed. So you cannot have your own company, running your own business, and providing contractual services while you're running your own business. So you have to be employed. There has to be an employer-employee relationship between you and your employer, so the company you're working, which basically means you should be getting paid wages, salaries after deduction of your CRA remittances, your employment insurance, your CPP. So all this needs to be taken care of. So basically your employer issues you a T4. You could be employed in any occupation whatsoever, it doesn't matter, but you should be employed. That's the criteria. And you should have attained a proficiency of benchmark 4. CLB 4 is the requirement. And what else is here? You should reside in Canada, obviously, with valid temporary residence. Again, you should intend to reside in a province other than Quebec. And have I missed something? Yeah, that's just about it. You have to be physically present in Canada. Again, yes, again, this is what it says. You have to be physically present in Canada at the time of application and then when your application is approved. So these are primarily the two streams under the essential workers. Now, very quickly going through the NOC codes. Annex A is the eligible health-related occupations. Now, long list of occupations, primarily health workers. Okay, and then in the Annex B, again, you have the other eligible occupations where you have the cashiers, service attendants, store shelf stockers, plenty of occupation codes that you can go through. This also includes the drivers, the truck drivers, the bus drivers, the taxi limousine drivers, couriers, delivery couriers, equipment operators, construction helpers, plenty of occupations, which basically will make so many people eligible, which is amazing. Also, there are retail salespersons, okay, 6421, again, a very important NOC. There are also cleaners here. And again, as I said, plenty of occupations that you can look at. There are retail butchers here, home childcare providers, elementary and secondary school teachers, assistants, okay. Yeah, again, you see a lot of NOC Cs and NOC Ds, which would have otherwise not been eligible in express entry. All of these have been included. Well, that is as far as the criteria goes. And you should be aware that there is an intake limit. So come 6th of May, anybody and everybody who is eligible is going to try and submit their application. So what can we expect on the 6th of May? We can expect a lot of rush on the servers. I hope IRCC is managing the servers well. What time will this stream open, right? Honestly, as of right now, we don't know. However, going by the past trends, going by what has happened historically, they usually open the stream at midday Eastern Standard Time. So again, I will expect that the stream will open somewhere at about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 6th of May. And that's what I would, I don't expect them to open at midnight or something of that sort, because it doesn't make sense. Now, what is also expected is that it's a new portal. It is not going to be your express entry account that you can create, not a MyCIC account. It is a different portal. I think we know which portal it is because we have a bit of an experience on that. We already handled a few applications there. But again, the reason we don't talk about that portal at this point of time is because we don't know if that is exactly the one or something else. But as of right now, we can sort of understand from what IRCC has said that it's a different portal that they're preparing. What will happen is that you will log into the portal on that particular day, because IRCC is expected to release the application package, the application guide, hopefully, fingers crossed, within this week. As and when that happens, of course, we will jump on in another live and talk more in details as to what they're trying to do. But what you can do in advance is, first of all, be very, very clear that you are eligible. Be aware of what is the criteria. If you're aware of the criteria, then you know that this is what you need to provide. So this is not going to be an invitation based system or process. It's not like you're going to get invited to apply and then you will submit your documents. No, you have to submit your entire application on that particular date. So you have to be ready with your documents. Make sure you have everything. IELTS CELPIP reports, one of the most important ones. I know people have been struggling trying to get their test dates. A lot of you are still able to book their dates now. IRCC did speak with the organizing authorities with IELTS and CELPIP, and they have released more dates. Here, let me just get rid of this. And they have released more dates. So what you do need to do is you need to keep constantly checking the IELTS website, the CELPIP website, to see as and when the new slots open. New slots will open, because earlier IELTS and CELPIP had scaled down their test slots that they were opening because of the lockdowns and shutdowns happening across the country. But I understand that they are currently understood to be essential services, so they are conducting their tests, and they are opening up more slots. Keep checking. I understand it's going to be difficult, but one of the things that you can do is check at odd hours, not at the regular hours, not during the day when everybody else is going to be checking. The chances are you might not find the slots. Try and look for slots at odd hours. So if you are, awake at the middle of the night, or if your friends are awake in a different part of the world in the middle of the night, tell them to keep an eye on it and see if any slots get available. And if they do, then snap it up immediately. So that's one thing. Now, on the day you will enter the system on the 6th of May, when the systems do open, hopefully by that time you would be aware of where you got to log in, because I'm sure IRCC will have to make that announcement at some point of time. You will be expected to create your account ID by using your email address. Once you will access the account, you will then answer a few questions just like you do in Express Entry as of now, which will ask you about the eligibility criteria, which will basically ask you about your IELTS, your scores, your work experience, your education, your basic information about your family members, etc. And that would then lead you to which stream you are eligible under. Okay, so probably the question about your knock code will be there, the question about your IELTS scores will be there, the validity of your IELTS scores will be there, and if you're currently in Canada, under what status, that would probably be there. So these will be a few questions which may probably be asked, so that the system leads you to which stream you are eligible under. Hopefully that is how it will work, and hopefully it will work smoothly. The reason why I'm saying so hopefully is because, IRCC is going to open the floodgates. I expect hundreds and thousands of people trying to log in at the same time. All right. So I'm just hoping people will be able to log in at that point of time. Now, when you do log in, at that point of time, you will come to a certain screen where you will need to complete more information and more details, which would be about your personal factors in terms of your name, age, date of birth, passport numbers, passport details, your nationality, where do you currently live, your address, where do you work, what kind of job do you do, the details about your work experience. If you're applying under the essential workers, then your past work experience, your knock code, how many years of work experience, from when to when did you work. If you are under the international students, then obviously where did you study, the DLI number, what did you study, which college, the address. All this information will have to be entered. You will be required to complete a certain number of forms. I've already, in my earlier videos also, if you have been watching or before, I've also discussed about the forms. The forms probably are going to be IMM 0008, IMM 5562, IMM 5406, and IMM 5669. These 4 forms usually are the ones that are normally that you will need to be completing in most of the application types. So it's not a secret anymore. Complete these forms when you are about to log in. So you can log in and then complete these forms, and then you'll be able to submit them. You will need your documentation up front. You will need your work experience documents. In order to check what your work experience documents should look like, let me just pull up the screen. And later on, I haven't posted this link yet, but I will post it once I finish the video so that you guys can all check in. Okay, let me just share this with you guys so you know what I'm talking about. Right, so this is what it is. Application for permanent resident program subject to Express Entry completeness check. Now, if you are wondering what should go in your documents, what should be included in your documents, then this is the link that you should refer to. This is pretty much what IRCC will expect from you on that date in your application. And what I'm talking about, and okay, this is express entry, okay, and this has an R10 check. R10 check basically means express entry first checks whether you are whether you have provided all the documents, and only if you have provided all the documents will they continue with your application. Otherwise, your application is rejected. However, under the new immigration pathway, there is no R10 completeness check, because the new immigration pathway is under the interim temporary policy, public policy. It does not come under the regulations. So there will be no R10 completeness check. They will straight away jump onto the application. Now, in this particular web page that I have from the IRCC, and I will post this link after we complete the video so that you can then see this. This will basically tell you what usually you need to do in an immigration application. So you will medical examinations. It talks about the police certificates, what kind of police clearances you will need. What kind of, proof of work experience. This is what you should be looking at. These are the details that need to be included in your application for proof of work experience. If you are an essential worker, then you will have to provide a work reference letter, and work reference letter basically would need to include this information which is on your screen right now. As I said, I will post the link in the video description after I finish the video, so you would not have to worry where it is. Your reference letter must be on your company's letterhead. It must include the time that you've been working, from which date to which date, how long have you been working, what were your working hours, how many hours per week did you complete, what was your duties and responsibilities is extremely important, because that is what will establish your knock code. Of course, it should also mention that you were paid, and this paid employment is extremely important. If this work experience is in Canada, that's what it says here. Proof may include copies of T4, tax information, salary slips, notice of assessments, and all of this information. Ideally, you should provide, because that is how they will establish your work experience. So, as I said, I will post this link, so you will have it. Refer to that link, and you will get a better insight of what documents you should have in hand, ready to prepare when the application, when you're ready to submit the application. Now, medicals and police clearances. Now, another insight that we got from IRCC during the technical briefing is that you would basically be under two categories. One, people who have done medicals in the past. Now, your medicals could be expired. We know that medicals have an expiry date of 12 months. So if you've done your medicals in the past, provide that medical certificate. If you haven't done it, it's all right. You can always give an explanation that because of the short duration of this application preparation, you were not able to get an appointment because of COVID, because of the lockdown. You cannot appear for a medical. You will provide a medical at a later date after you submitted the application. As of now, that is not an eligibility requirement, so you will not be needed to give that upfront. Same thing with police clearances. If you have a police clearance, excellent, provide it upfront. If you don't have it, provide explanation saying that because of the time, because of the duration, you're not able to provide a police clearance upfront. You will apply for it and you will provide it. If you have already applied for it, provide the proof of you having applied for it, and that's also absolutely acceptable, no problem there. Again, at the time of your application, what is most important are the eligibility documents, the documents that establish that you are eligible under that program. That is the most important document that you will need to provide. So if you are an international student, your copies of your degrees, your diplomas, your mark sheets, your transcripts, your completion letter, provide that. If you have just completed your education, you have just completed your credential and you don't have your degree, that's fine. Provide a completion letter, provide a letter from the college if you have it, which says that the degree or diploma will be conferred upon you later on, and there's no convocation yet or whatever. But your transcripts are going to be extremely important, because that is what establishes that you've completed the program, along with your completion letter. Okay. This is basically what you will need. Of course, you will need your IELTS or CELPIP results. As I said earlier, you can provide the the online results. Once you get them, you can provide the printout or a screenshot of your online results. If you get it in your email, provide that. If you have a hard copy, excellent, provide that. You will need to provide copies of your status. So your study permit, your work permit, you will need to provide that. The fact that you are in Canada, obviously you will be mentioning that. I mean, should be one of the requirements as you complete your application. And you must provide current employment letter. So if you're an essential worker and your work experience is continuing, you're still working over there, the letter from your employer can say that you are still working, you're currently working, provide your recent pay stubs, you're good. For international students, you may have just found a job, you may have just got an employment, you would have just recently been employed. You don't need a reference letter. Your employer need not give you a duties and responsibilities, or you trying to figure out what your knock is. As an international student, your knock code is not important. That is not the criteria. It's not a requirement. So all you need is an employment letter which states that you are working. If you don't have an employment letter, even your job offer letter which says that so and so date you started working or you will start working. In addition to that, provide recent pay slips, pay stubs, and then that basically becomes your proof of being currently employed. If you are on a maternal leave, if you're on a paternal leave, if you are on a study leave, if you're on these kind of leaves, unfortunately, that will not be considered as you being currently employed. If you're on any kind of unpaid leave, that will not be considered as you being currently employed. So you might want to figure out a way around that and see what you can do. This is primarily what will be required. Oh yes, of course, the application fees. Now, the current application fee, as we know, in Express Entry is $825, and $500 is the RPRF, right for permanent residence fee. In addition to that, you also pay $85 as biometric fee if you haven't done your biometrics within the last 10 years. Now, in this application, it is expected that the application fee may, and again, it hasn't been announced, so I won't know with certainty. So the application fee may be a bit less than $825. It is expected it could be $550. Expected. Again, don't hold me on my neck with this because it hasn't been announced, so we don't really know if it is or not. The application fee could be $550. If not, you already know it is about $825, right? But it would be the requirement that you pay your RPRF fee along with the application fee. So you will have to pay both together. You cannot sort of, postpone paying your RPRF fee like you do it in Express Entry. In Express Entry, you have a choice. You can pay application fee upfront. RPRF fee can be paid later. But here, you will have to pay both application and RPRF fee together. If by any chance you haven't done your biometrics, then you will also have to provide biometric fee. This, my friends, is primarily what will have to be done. So you log in with your email ID, you answer a few questions, you go to the stream that you're supposed to submit your application to, you complete the forms, you enter all the information, you upload the documents, you pay the fees. Now, there could be two options. Either you will have to pay the fee while you're completing your application, just like in Express Entry. Once you've completed the application, you click submit, you have to answer a certain you have to agree, or you have to give your consent to certain confidentiality clauses or privacy clauses. Once you've done that, you basically type your name, which says that this is how you've given your consent, electronic signature. It then takes you to the fee payment page where you make the fee payment and your application is submitted. You get a congratulations. The other option would be that you will have to pay the fee manually on the IRCC website and then take a printout of the fee receipt and then upload it. Now, again, which of the two will be adopted, we don't know yet. I have a feeling, again, it's just a feeling, and I'm not sure if I have a feeling it would be a manual fee payment process, because I'm not sure IRCC had that much of time to develop a new system and have it running. I mean, already they have so many glitches going on with the current system. I'm not sure if they're going to slap a beta system on us on that particular day. But let's see what happens. We expect that IRCC should release the application guide, application package, details of what exactly should we look forward to within this week, because it's already too late. It's only 10 days. People are freaking out. I get calls every single day and people just absolutely panicking as to what needs to be done. Okay. So I've basically given you a gist of how it should be on the 6th of May. As long as you're prepared, your biggest challenge is going to be it's a working day. So if you are going to be submitting your application, then obviously you have to make sure that you take a day off, for example, especially if you're going to be working during that period of time. Number one. Number two, your another challenge is going to be your internet speed. So I hope you have good internet connection and it's not scratchy. Number three is going to be the device that you use, the laptop, the computer. I hope it's fast. I hope you can scan things properly. I hope you can save and print or do PDF prints properly. And yeah, I mean, as long as you can do that, you should be fine. And of course, logging in and accessing the IRCC account on that particular day I expect it to be a nightmare. Oh, another document that I think I've forgotten is your pictures. You will need to provide your pictures, your digital photos, white background. Usually it's 35 by 45 mm once we do express entry. But in this particular case, I would say play it safe and go with 50 by 70 mm. Play it safe. I'm just saying, because 50 by 70 mm, you can still, reduce, but 35 by 45, you can't make it big. So just with that, go with that white background, keep them ready, keep them handy. So last minute, you don't have to run around with anything. Okay, I need to answer this one. Hi, Shamanpreet. Thank you for having paid us and signing the agreement. You will get a follow-up. I hope you realize that it was a weekend, and weekends are weekends, and the team was not really working because they will be working additional hours throughout the whole week. Don't worry. The day has just started in Canada, or rather it's already a midday now. But the team is really trying to get a lot of things together. You will hear back from them. Don't worry about it. So that's primarily what the application is going to look like, how the system is going to look like, how the process is going to look like. If you guys are all prepared, then get ready to sort of tango that day. Now, time for questions. So let's see what wow, there are plenty of questions. Again, in the comment box, I want to see what you think. I know you've already said that international graduates are going to get filled up fast. And let me give you my thought about the international graduates. All right. Yes, international graduate streams will fill up fast, which is not rocket science anymore to imagine, because it's only 40,000 slots. And with the number of international students who are in Canada at any given point of time, you would only imagine, right? I mean, it's no brainer. But how many are currently in Canada? How many have a work permit? How many are currently employed? And how many have got their IELTS ready? That is something which I can see a lot of people struggling with. But I imagine most of them would still have it. Another question which usually comes up from people is, can you apply in more than one stream? Technically, yes, of course you can. I mean, again, you definitely can. If you are eligible in more than one stream, you can apply in more than one stream. Though, would you really want to spend additional money? I mean, if you've already been able to submit in one, then why apply in both? Also, we understand from IRCC as to the intake, and that is what somebody had also asked me earlier. How does the intake look like? Well, in the ideal world, IRCC would provide us with a counter, which would be constantly running on your screens, which will show how many applications have been submitted. Okay, which basically means that once 40,000 times submit buttons have been pressed by different people across Canada, then that 40,000 counter would reach as the intake limit would be closed. Now, the problem is, at that point of time, it's a panic situation. Everybody is trying to, fastest finger first. Everybody's under so much of pressure. And I know it because if any one of you has done Ontario applications when the streams open, master's, PhD stream, or employer job offer stream, or if any one of you have ever got an experience with parents, grandparents lottery, or if any one of you has ever got experience with the Nova Scotia category B, which used to open, I think it was 2018, if I remember correctly. I mean, you could get a heart attack trying to submit that application, because you're under such tremendous pressure at that point of time, because you feel the stream is going to just close any minute now. I mean, the last time the parents, grandparents lottery, where it had about 10-20,000 slots, it was done and finished in 7 minutes flat, 7 minutes. But the difference was that was just an expression of interest based kind of a lottery. Okay, this is a complete application submission. Expect to be spending anywhere between 40 to 45 minutes to an hour and a half trying to complete your application, depending on how complex your application is. For example, if you're a single applicant, you obviously will not be struggling as much as a family who's trying to complete their application. So basically, if you have 2, 3, 4 family members, then you will be completing much more details, and you'll obviously have to submit more information and upload more documents with regards to your application. But as a single, you will have that little bit of advantage. But with so much of pressure at that point of time on you, trying to make sure that you submit the application quickly, type everything quickly, make sure you have your documents all uploaded quickly. There's too much of pressure. Okay, so I mean, I would like to tell you that don't panic, stay calm. It's easier said than done. It's very easy for me to say it, but the people who are going to be submitting it, I know for a fact you guys are going to be under extreme, tremendous pressure. All I can say is breathe slowly. And the more you will breathe, the you can bring your heart rate down, and hopefully be more calm and submit. That's all I can sort of tell you. But apart from that, it's going to be a mayhem, to be very honest. Let's take questions and see what people are now talking about. Okay, before we get on to the questions, another thing that I want to talk to you about is this it? I mean, last time when the 27,000 ITAs happened, we thought that was it. Keep in mind, so far, and this is end of April almost, more than 52,000 invitations have been issued in Express Entry alone for Canadian Experience class. Okay, then you now have these 90,000 applications. I do expect that there will be more pathways that will be offered to the people who are in Canada, because Marco Mendicino, I think in November of 2020, did say very, very clearly that he is looking at all possible ways and means to give advantage to people who are already inside Canada. And it's quite, I mean, it's great, right? Because so many of you guys have been working so hard without expecting anything, and this is just a golden reward basically to help you regularize your status, to formalize your status, and it gives you that great opportunity. So I know a lot of people who are outside Canada and who have been anxiously waiting for the last 4 months under the federal skilled worker programs. They will not I don't expect them to be excited about this, but for them, I can only say that you're making the right choice by choosing Canada, because you can see right now what's happening is that Canada is giving preference. Canada is choosing people. They are thinking, they are caring. They're caring for the people. They're caring for their own people, as in they are giving them that advantage. So you're making the right choice by choosing Canada. I know it's frustrating for you guys to be waiting at this point of time, but I hope and pray that very soon, as and how things do normalize, as and how we do have this COVID pandemic situation in control, hopefully they will come back to the normal regular draws, and so that we can start talking about federal skilled worker draws again. All right. Questions which we need to take. I've been saying we'll take questions. Okay, the first question. Thank you so much, Harika, for the super chat. Can we fill the forms before, or will we be able to fill them only after registering our mail on May 6th? I don't know, to be very honest, because we do not know what kind of format or what kind of system they are looking to apply. Also, forms like IMM 0008, as of now, the current form does not have the category of the public policy that has been issued. So when you will try to complete that form, if you try to complete IMM 0008, you will realize that the options that you have in that form do not comply with this particular program or particular stream. So either IRCC will issue a new series of forms, or probably you will have to fill these forms online when the program opens. Because there is no clarity, it's your call to take whether you want to prepare these forms upfront or not. Yeah, something which you'll have to figure out as IRCC will announce their application package. It is also expected that they will release a new IMM 0008, because only then will you be able to fill that form and add this to your application. But yeah, good question. But unfortunately, I do not have a clear directive or an answer on this one. Abhishek, thank you for the super chat. I have an ITA. Should I go with International Student 1-2? Okay, Abhishek, you already have one spot. Okay, leave the other spot for someone else, man. Come on. I mean, I understand that people are thinking that if they will apply under the public policy, their application will get processed faster. It will be faster than express entry. No, there is no such thing like that. Nowhere has it been announced or said that they will process the public policy faster than the express entry. It's not like that. All right. You have an ITA means you have a good score. Okay. And you've received your ITA. Just concentrate on your application with express entry, because if you're going to be looking to apply under the public policy, you are going to put under undue and unnecessary pressure on yourself. You will also obviously, and then you'll have to then wait till see that you've actually submitted a complete application or not, and then realize what the decision is. Instead, you have an ITA. Concentrate on that. Prepare a good application. Submit that application, and you can live happily ever after. All right. Thank you, Positive Attitude, for the super chat. In the international student stream, will we require a police clearance as part of completing the application? Well, police clearances will definitely be required. However, I don't expect it to be required upfront. I don't expect it to be a checklist requirement upfront as part of your application. And one of the reasons for that is because police clearances will take more time, and people do not really have that much of time in advance to prepare for the application to provide it upfront. So that's a simple explanation. If at all you are asked for it, provide this as an explanation that because of lack of time, because of when the stream has been announced till when the application has to be submitted, you are unable to obtain a police clearance with this time, and that you will provide one. But again, more information about what exactly the documentation checklist would look like would be once they will release it. If you already have a police clearance, excellent. If you have already applied for one, provide the copy of the proof of having applied for one or a receipt, and you should be good. Okay. Kushal, I'm on a valid study permit, but I have worked in essential services as part-time. Can I apply for essential stream? Yes, you can. If you are eligible under the essential worker stream, you have sufficient working hours of 1,560 over one year or more, equivalent, part-time or full-time. And then if you're eligible, yes, most definitely you can apply for that. As long as you're currently working, you are in employment, you're currently in Canada, then you will be eligible to apply. Omer says, I am under FSWE pool, score of 473, will turn 31, score will go down to 466. What is your advice for me to improve my chances for selection? Knock code is 0122. Well, I would suggest, Omer, is that if there is any possibility for you to improve your IELTS, then most definitely do that, because it only makes sense. Okay. You can also look at French as a second language option. And as difficult as it sounds, and with French, there are two factors, which is listening and speaking. They are relatively easier than trying to ace writing and reading. Okay. So if you are able to at least score, I think it's CLB 5 or CLB 6 or CLB 7 probably in listening and speaking, you will get additional points for those two factors. That can also add into your profile, and it always will give you additional advantage. Apart from that, if you can improve your IELTS scores, excellent. If there is any possibility for you to check if you are also eligible under a different NOC and probably be eligible under Ontario or a different program, then you should also give that a shot. Good question, my friend. Okay, sorry, we did this already. Tanuj says, I got the IELTS date of 26th June. Oh my God. So do I have any chance in this policy as I will be applying so late? Well, Tanuj, what can I say, my friend? I don't really know what a direct answer to give is. I would say concentrate on express entry. I think that is the best I can say, because to be very honest, the number of slots that are available in this program are not enough, considering how many people are out there in Canada at this point of time who will be eligible. And a lot of them probably, so for example, international students, I can understand there are just so many of them, and a lot of them are already preparing for express entry at some point of time, so they already have IELTS. So these 40,000 slots, I expect them to get finished within that particular day. On the 6th of May, international student stream is gone. For sure. I mean, I don't even have a doubt. I'm saying but for the day, and I'm just trying to be optimistic there, but I actually expect it to be gone and done within, I don't know, a couple of hours at the max. If it lasts for a couple of hours, I mean, I'll be quite surprised to see that. But the reason why a couple of hours is because it will take that much of time to complete the application. It is just not like you enter and you press and it's gone. No, it will take time to complete the application. So couple of hours for international graduate streams. For the other two streams, the health workers and the essential workers. Now, the thing there is that because a lot of candidates in this category are NOC Cs and NOC Ds. Now, they were not anticipating something like this to happen. So they did not prepare for their IELTS, or they did not have their IELTS. Now, any one of them, if they already had the IELTS or CELPIP, we keep saying IELTS, but if they had the language scores, then of course they will be the first ones to apply, and they will probably get through pretty quickly to submit as well. But a lot of them who are now struggling to get the IELTS dates or CELPIP dates, and who have the dates but will get the results later. So therefore, I expect the health workers and the essential workers stream to probably take few days more after the 6th of May. I don't expect it to be done and finished on the 6th of May, but 26th of June is something which at least I won't bet anything on. So I would say concentrate on express entry if you can. Neeraj says, any chance Ontario will pick 1111 knock code in coming draws? Well, I can't tell you, Neeraj, because there is no way to say what they will pick or not. The best thing to do is check the Ontario's website, the general draws that they pick. I think they did pick 1111 a few times for sure. And if they conduct another human capital priorities HCP draw, then I think you have a good chance. Of course, considering your CRS score is within the drawn range. Nikita says, I'm planning to quit my current job and start a new job on June 7th, contract job, but it is as an employee. Can I still be eligible? I'm an international student currently working in NOC B. Yes, absolutely. As long as you're working as an employee and you're working on the day you submit your application, you are absolutely fine. If you quit your job later on, that's absolutely fine. Nowhere in the criteria does it say that you have to be continuously working in that job. It doesn't say that. It just says that you should be working on that particular date. So you should be fine. Okay, few super chats there. Let's clear them. Karan says, if I register myself under the international graduates, do I have to continue working with that employer until I get my confirmation of PR? No, you don't have to. I just answered that. The requirement is that you are employed on that particular, you are currently employed. It doesn't say that you need to be continuously employed for the entire duration. So the criteria is very clear. You need to read everything in context, read in the totality to sort of have clarity. So as long as you are submitting your application and on that particular day you're employed, or that particular time you're employed, you're absolutely fine. You do not have to work for the same employer. Abhishek says, I have my IELTS booked for 6th of May. Can I apply with explanation letters that suggest I will provide the IELTS result shortly? Unfortunately not. And the reason for that is the criteria to be able to submit your application is that you have your IELTS results, because you will be able to enter your score. Now, I don't doubt that you will most certainly be able to score CLB 5, which is the minimum criteria. But how does the system or IRCC know that you will be able to score it or not? Because you are not eligible, Therefore, you should not be able to apply. But if you still go ahead and apply, then it's absolutely your call. I would expect that your application would get refused in such, because if this was the criteria, then they would have told you so. But it's not. It says that you should have completed your language scores and you should have them handy when you submit your application. Okay, we have some more here. Deepak says PCC from India or from embassy through BLS. Well, if you are outside India, then you should submit your police clearance certificate through the embassy so that that can be processed, because that is usually how it's done. Thank you, Nikita, for the super chat, but I don't see your question. I'm sorry. Thank you, Prithvi, for super chat. Understand your company is busy nowadays. Are you sure company going to apply my file on time? Because this is the only chance, as I've already paid fees to you on Saturday and still no confirmation. Prithvi, thank you for having availed our services. I appreciate it. Yes, there would have been no reply because Saturday and Sunday the offices were closed. Weekends the offices were closed. You should get a response back from the team today. You have already got the terms and conditions from our team, where we very clearly told you that if you are not able to submit the application, then your money will be refunded, and you've already got the caveat. And if you've agreed to that, then I'm sure you already know that your money is safe. Basically, it's not going to go anywhere. In the sense, like if you're going to be preparing your application and giving it to you, then obviously there'll be a small administrative fee. But apart from that, we should be able to do what we have told you we'll be doing. Okay, Aditya says, when can we expect to receive mail for passport, stamp, post, biometrics under PR file? Well, if you are an outland applicant, then it is going to take some time, because as of right now, they are not finalizing applications. Because if they were to finalize your application and give you a PPR, well, even if you get the visa stamped, you cannot travel at this point of time. And if you cannot travel, then they are basically just holding back. There have been delays. We all know that there have been delays. So many people have been waiting for their applications to be finalized since, I know of some applications right from 2019, because hopefully, ideally their application should have been processed in 2020, but it wasn't, and they have been holding back. So there is no credible timeline to give you how long it will take. Basan says, is there any knock for software developers in graduate stream, which is listed in Annex A for 40,000 graduate? Okay, I can't see that. Well, if it is not listed in Annex A, then unfortunately there is, therefore it basically means that your 1-year diploma would not be eligible. That's what it basically means. Because as far as international graduates are concerned, there is no knock requirement. So you're basically mixing up the two criterias. Don't mix it up. For international graduate stream, there is no knock criteria unless your program was a 1-year program, and that 1-year program should lead to a skilled trade, which has been mentioned in the Annex A of that particular stream. So that is what you should be looking at. If your knock is not there, then unfortunately, you're not eligible at this point of time. Ayan says, is it mandatory to register on the application day, or can we pre-register, keep our username, password ready on the 6th? Good question. We don't know, because IRCC hasn't announced which portal, what will be the portal criteria, what will be the package, what will be the application details. They haven't really announced. Until they do that, we are just going to be waiting to see what they have to do or say. Okay, where was that? Okay. Thank you, Simran. I have 2-year diploma degree. I do have a valid work permit as well as IELTS done. I'm currently working in NOC code 6311. Just wanted to know if I'm eligible and under which. Well, if you have done a 2-year diploma or a degree, then you are eligible. And if this diploma degree was completed after January 2017, you have an IELTS score of CLB 5. You are currently working on a work permit. You are eligible under the international graduate streams. No problem. Okay, Tranquility says, can we expect FSW around June end or July mid? Well, I would certainly want to see that happening, though I wouldn't bet my money. I'm expecting a summer draw for sure. But when in the month of summer, which month of summer, when is something which, I don't know. I'm hopeful that there would be a summer draw because it's just too long that the draws haven't happened. And if at all it continues like this well into the summer, then it would be just building up too many profiles into the pool. So yeah, I would definitely expect a summer draw, but I'm just not sure when that would happen. Paras says, can I apply work permit with unofficial transcript because all of the requirements are done except work permit application? Wow. Okay. Again, there hasn't been any clarity if they will accept unofficial transcripts. If you apply with that, well, technically, you see, all they are saying is that you have completed your education. That's what IRCC says in the technical terms, that you have completed your education. If you have a completion letter and if you have unofficial transcripts, you can take a chance. It's your chance because it's your application money at risk there. So you can take a chance and say that, or rather provide an explanation that you will be providing the official transcripts once they have been issued, provided with an explanation. And in your case, in this particular case, with the unofficial transcripts, I think it's an opinion. Okay, it should be fine. But again, that is something which you will need to take a chance with. Jot Singh says, my process timing is over, but still medical is pending. Should I go for GCMS? CIC site says they are processing application which has been filled in June. Should I wait? Well, if your medical is pending, then there is a possible concern there. Yes, you can definitely order your GCMS notes and review that. You could also make a call to IRCC and check with them what's happening. But sometimes they just take more time in processing your medical. Sometimes they need some additional reviews there. And if at all that is the concern, then your medical center will get in touch with you for additional medicals that you need to do. But apart from that, yeah, you can always follow up with IRCC and see what's happening in your application, or order GCMS notes. Oh, we just saw this one. Why are we getting repeated questions? All right. Kunal says, which province has more scope of picking up finance-related knock codes this year? Well, Ontario has usually picked finance knock code. I have seen in the past Nova Scotia also picking up the finance knock code. Saskatchewan also has the finance knock code. So basically, yeah, and I think Alberta has also picked finance knock code. So that's pretty much it. I mean, apart from these, then comes the list of provinces that will need you to have a job offer. So pretty much most of these provinces which have programs which don't need a job offer, they will all have finance knock codes at some point of time, which they will invite at some point of time. Adam Smith says, what about paper-based applications? I mean, what about it? I mean, paper-based applications always have taken a lot of time. They take about 2 to 2.5 years anyways. And unfortunately, with the current COVID scenario, they have just been taking more time. So, I mean, unfortunately, that's the scene there. Nisarg says, my CRS score is 373. I already have IELTS. Just wondering, would IRCC pick the slots for 6th May from EE? I'm not sure what the question is. I'm wondering what IRCC pick the slots for 6th May. No, they will not. So this new program has nothing to do with express entry. So yeah, don't mix the two. Don't confuse the two. They're not inviting. It's not an invitation-based process. It will be application first in, first out. Whoever is able to log in, whoever is able to submit their application, that is how it will go. Okay. Raj Rathore says, forms regarding immigration, what forms need to be ready? Well, you can look at IMM 0008, 5562, 5406, 5669. These are the forms that you can, look at. But whether you will need to fill them up online when the system opens that particular day is something which needs to be seen. Rushabh says, I'm working as a customer service representative in food sector. I have worked for 1560 hours. I don't know if I'm eligible to apply under knock policy. I don't know knock code in Annex B. Well, Rushabh, in the description box below, the links are there. Click on the link, check the criteria and check the list of NOC codes that are there. Match them with your duties and see if you are eligible. And if you are, then go ahead and submit the application on that particular day. Oh, we've done this. Okay, for some reason we're getting the application. We're getting the questions again. Okay. JJ, do you expect people who applied PR through CSQ will speed up this year? Okay, good question. Well, Quebec has been a bit slow on the CSQs. Will I expect them to speed up? I will expect everybody to speed up, but my expecting them to speed up doesn't really make any difference. I don't have a clear answer to that because I don't really know what is holding them back or what. COVID has been quite. I don't even need to say that anymore. It has been what it has been, and it has created a huge problems with so many people, and it has created several backlogs. So there is no way of saying whether they will speed up or they will not speed up. It will be, I mean, they will process it once they have to process it, I guess. Jasdeer Singh Jora says, international students have to stop working once they get their final grades. Are they eligible before applying PGWP? Well, no. The reason for that is because you should be currently employed when you submit your application. In order to be currently employed, you should have your postgraduate work permit, or you should have already applied for your postgraduate work permit, whereby you are on implied status. So if you're still waiting for your final grades, if you're still waiting for your completion letter from your college, which basically means you cannot apply for your postgraduate work permit, and therefore you cannot work, and therefore unfortunately you will not be eligible. Syed says, hey, would there be CEC and OANP draws happening parallelly too? Well, they have been happening already, so there is nothing which says that it won't happen, just the way they have been happening. Vijay says, I will be eligible for CEC in June. Should I apply under international stream or wait and apply under CEC? Well, again, the call is for you to make. Okay, if you're eligible, go ahead and apply under the international student stream, because then CEC gives you a backup. So basically, if you're not able to apply under the international student stream, well, then you simply just wait. You haven't lost anything. You simply wait, and then once you're eligible under CEC, then you can apply there as well. Okay. Sincerely, Moni says, does the family member need to have the status at the time of the application? No, they don't need to have status in Canada at all, because that's what IRCC has clearly said, that your family member can be in Canada or outside Canada. That's absolutely fine. Singh says, how much might be the next I think he says he means CEC draw. Well, I expect it to be again, it all depends on how many invitations they will issue and when they will conduct the draw. If they will conduct the draw this week, probably, which is what we expect. And if they again issue anywhere close to the number of ITAs that they did, like 6,000, 5,000, 6,000 ITAs, I expect the scores to drop further into 400s, which is probably 4.0. I'm looking at, I'll say between 405 to 408, 409. That kind of score is what I would anticipate. But again, very difficult to say, depending on how many profiles in the pool, how many new profiles have come in, how many profiles are already there in CEC. It's very difficult to sort of give that kind of a number there. Okay, we already answered that question. Okay, Prithvi, we also answered you. Okay, I have my CELPIP exam on 9th of May. Well, I understand the concern. You have a CELPIP exam on the 9th of May. You will get your results after a few days. And then if the streams are still open, and you would know that for sure because it will be all over, right? And if the streams are still open, you will most definitely be able to apply. Nishya says, would I need WES for this new immigration thing? No, you don't need WES, because WES is for Canadian equivalency of your foreign education. Here, the requirement of foreign education is not there. The requirement is that you would have completed Canadian education or Canadian work experience. So there is no requirement for your foreign education or the Canadian equivalency. Therefore, you do not need your WES. Saurav says, I'm in Delhi since 2 months for preparing my IELTS, but I'm from Bihar. Now I'm going back. Now I am going to apply for PCC from my Bihar. Do I need to apply from Delhi too? No, Saurav. In India, you will need to apply from Passport Seva Kendra, and that one PCC covers the entire duration of your stay in India. Revti, thank you for the super chat. With 1 year master's degree, do I need a skilled trade in Annex A, or will tech role suffice international grad stream? If you have a master's degree, even if it is a 1 year degree, no problem. If it's a degree, if it's a master's degree, bachelor's degree, associate degree, as long as it's a degree. If it's a degree, it doesn't matter what the duration is. If it's a degree, you will be eligible to apply as long as you are working. On the day you submit your application, you have a CLB 5, you will be eligible to apply. Is being furloughed for a duration considered to be employed? Well, again, a good question, but unfortunately not. If you're furloughed, then you're not employed at that point of time. I would suggest finding employment, to be very honest. Tess Anna says, I've completed my 1-year graduate certificate last year. Currently, I'm working as a software. Will I be eligible? Well, again, as I said, if you have completed 1-year program and that 1-year program does not lead to a skilled trade, which has been listed in Annex A, then unfortunately, you will not be eligible. Can TRV holders outside Canada apply for a work permit without the employment letter? Okay. If you are a TRV holder, then you will basically need, unless you are in the LMIA exempt category, you will need an LMIA to apply for a work permit, which basically means you will need a job offer. Nishant says, out of 3 years of WorkX, I have first year's designation was management trainee. Will it cause trouble? No, it will not cause trouble as long as your work experience validates the knock. Does the work experience essential need to be continuous? No, it does not need to be continuous. All you need to do is have enough hours over a period of 1 year, at least minimum 1 year. And as long as you have that, you're fine. Oh, we just did this. Okay, not much of a question, but great info. Okay, I'm not sure which question are we referring to here. Okay, JVR says, I'm from India, now working in Uganda as a plastic molding technician, but my qualification is only 10th. Is it possible to get job or work permit or PR? Well, again, for all these things, you will need to check your eligibility criteria, my friend. Get onto the CIC website, check your eligibility criteria, see if you're eligible for Express Entry or for any other PNP program. As far as finding a job is concerned, use Job Bank of Canada, use different job boards, use your network of family and friends, approach an employer, see if they are willing to give you an employment or job offer, and then accordingly then apply for immigration once you're eligible to do so. Ravi says, if you apply for PGWP under public policy, is it okay to apply under new immigration pathway? Yes, as long as you have a postgraduate work permit, or if you're under an implied status and are currently working, have the eligible credential, you are absolutely fine. Oh, we did this already. Oh, this is strange. We are getting similar questions again. Mukul Sharma, thank you for super chat. I have 2 years experience in my field, still working with same company which comes in NOCB. Should I apply in this program or go for Express Entry? Similar question to what I just replied earlier was, yes, you can. If you're eligible, by all means, if you wish to apply, you can apply. If you're able to submit your application, excellent. If not, then you know you have a backup chance. You can submit your application in Express Entry if and when you are eligible. Okay, Dinal says, what's your advice for those students whose studies are going to complete soon to be ready for future draws? Yes, absolutely, Dinal. I do. Personally, I feel that IRCC may, or the immigration minister may announce more pathways for people in Canada. I expect that to happen. Because that has somehow been the trend now, right? There has been a lot of work, very aggressive work going on, a lot of aggressive effort being put into whether it was regularizing the status, whether it's extending the postgraduate work permit. We never thought they will extend the postgraduate work permit for such a long period of time, but people have been allowed now 18 months. They have been giving lots of exemptions. The restoration periods, I mean, unless it's only three months, but now it was being given for a very long period of time. Students were allowed to study from their home countries, online, hybrid model. Now this program for 90,000 people, then the large number of ITAs with very low CRS score, CEC only draws, all these different things that I'm speaking about, they have all been targeted, or they've all been towards regularizing the people who are already inside Canada, giving them additional advantage, helping them, on a concrete pathway to permanent residence. So it's all excellent. It's all good. So yeah, I personally, I feel that there would be another one, or others, there would be some more additional programs or pathways that they would come up with as well. George says, my son was working as a customer service officer for one of the airlines. What's the appropriate NOC code? I don't know, my friend. You will have to check the NOC database and then identify the NOC based on matching jobs, roles, and responsibilities. That's how you would go about doing it. Okay, Adventure says, what's the best time to apply for GCMS notes in Express Entry? Well, I would say usually after the third or the fourth month, because going by the current timelines, I mean, it is taking time, right? By the time they're processing the applications. So going by that, towards the third or the fourth month is when I would say you could take that shot. Sonali says, for work experience, is there a gap? If there is a gap in work experience, yet the last 3 years experience is there, will that be considered? Yes, absolutely. There's no problem with that. As long as you have continuous work experience, and I'm talking about the federal skilled worker, as long as you have the continuous work experience of at least 1 year, you're eligible in Express Entry, you have 67 points or more, then you can have cumulative work experience to count for 3 years of work experience, as long as it is within the last 10 years, and the gaps are absolutely fine, no problem. Muninder says, I have passed my IELTS on 15th of April, 7 man, not received TRF. Can I apply with IDP mail on 6th May? Yes, you can. IRCC had announced, and let me just see if I can find that. They did announce that you can apply with your email if you have it. Let me just see if I can find it. Just give me one moment. So I can show that to you so you know where to look for. Yes, I found it. Let me just show it to you here. There you go. That is what IRCC has said, that IRCC will accept language test results received by applicants through email or from testing organizations' online portal. So even if you don't have the email, you can take screenshots, printouts from the online portal of IELTS or from CELPIP, and that would also be acceptable. This is as part of the eligibility criteria announced for temporary pathway to immigration for permanent residents. Now, this was announced on the 22nd of April. So that is your clearance that you can provide documents, or you can provide your language test results from online or from your email as well. No problem with that. Okay, last couple of questions, and then I gotta go. My daughter is gonna kill me. Okay, how can I add my parents to the new stream international graduates? Unfortunately, Garima, your parents are not considered as part of your family under the immigration applications. So you can only add your spouse, common law partners, or dependents. Unfortunately, you cannot add your parents to be part of your application for permanent residence. Jyoth says, after getting AOR, will immigration officer ask for PCC or medical again if decision about my file is still not provided? Yes, absolutely. IRCC can always ask you for police clearances again if a lot of time has elapsed between you submitting the application and they making a decision. And if your medicals have expired from the last time that you have provided, medicals are valid for 12 months from the date they've been taken or from the last time that you have visited the medical center. So if the medicals have expired, then yes, IRCC can ask you to redo your medicals, and yeah, they can definitely do that. Konu says, do we need medical check upfront for your application? Well, no, I don't expect it to be asked for it upfront because people just don't have time. You cannot go out right now under serious lockdowns, COVID scenario situation right now. So they cannot expect you to go for your medicals right now. I expect them to be asking for medicals later. But if you have taken your medicals earlier, even if they were expired 12 months, 6 months, 10 months back, provide that anyways. Provide an explanation that owing to COVID, owing to very short time available at hand, in order for you to submit your application, you could not complete your medicals. That's absolutely fine. I don't expect them to be asking for medicals at this point of time. Last question. My throat's bad and my daughter's waiting. Farid says, nowadays lockdown is imposed in India. I have reapplied for study permit on 12th of April under SDS via online for May intake. Will lockdown affect study application processing? Farid, this morning, today itself, I have received 3 approvals for study permit applications for my clients. All these 3 were submitted only in the month of March, between 25th and 31st of March. So I think they are processing it pretty quick. I mean, it didn't even take 1 month for them to process study permit applications in India under the SDS stream. The current lockdown, will it affect? Well, there is a possibility that the current lockdown may affect, but I can tell you that as of right now, the applications have been processed, were being processed. I've just received 3 approvals for my clients this morning. So I know for a fact that the application, study permit applications are being approved and being processed at this point of time. Last question, because my throat is really bad now. Kuber sir, whenever you get time, request your detailed view on post-budget 21 release on immigration change. There is no immigration change as of now. People are freaking out and creating unwanted assumptions. Well, okay. In the tabled budget, they have said that they are looking to reform the express entry and looking at possible giving some attention to inviting people with some labor market priorities. All right, that has always been the case. The entire express entry system is designed to identify labor market priorities. All right, now what kind of reform, nobody knows. Every time they propose additional budget, okay, they obviously want money. The money has been assigned for digitizing the process. The money has been assigned to help certain vulnerable categories under the immigration. The money has been assigned to reform, as they say, the express entry system. That doesn't mean FSW categories are going to get chopped. No, it doesn't mean that. I mean, it doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, they will always need people to come from outside of Canada. Canada needs immigrants I mean, I don't know what's the right word to use, but 400,000 people for each of the next 3 years. 1.2 million people is what they were looking for the next 3 years. I expect that numbers to go up and up and up. Last year, they were not able to meet their immigration quota, and that's what we are seeing this year, right? Some very, very big mega steps being taken to ensure that they can meet the immigration quota, and also at the same time regularize the status for the permanent residents or temporary residents to become permanent residents. So they start calling it TR to PR. That's what they're doing right now. Should it be a reason for everybody to freak out? Well, freak out if you want, but not because there is 2-line statement which says that they will looking to make reforms. Until the reforms have been made, how do you know? Maybe they could be in your favor, right? Why do you have to always think negative? Think positive. I mean, maybe they're all going to be in your favor and you will basically benefit out of it. Until such time, look at ways and means, because even if they were to, this has been tabled, first this has to be approved, then they have to take it and then put it up. I mean, if it is a major policy change, if certain laws are going to change, IRPA and IRPA, Immigration Refugee Protection Act, Immigration Refugee Protection Regulation, which is the basis of the entire immigration, the way express entry runs, the ministerial instructions, they're already been set. If they have to make those changes, there has to be a cabinet decision on that, right? It will take time. It won't happen overnight, even if those changes were to be made. So you don't have to worry about anything, right, which is going to happen tomorrow or day after. Just relax. There is always a lot of anxiety around the whole immigration. I mean, I can understand. So many people have their aspirations, their dreams attached to it. And you know, the way things are going on, 2020 was a lousy year. 2021 is no better at this point of time. Canada is doing the best they can in the given scenario, right? And it is not in the favor of people who are outside Canada. Yes, people have spent money, people have spent time, people have spent effort, but you cannot blame Canada for it, all right? COVID is not Canada's doing, right? They haven't done it. Given the situation, given the circumstances, they're doing what they can do best to manage their country's requirements. They are not obligated to anybody everywhere, but they're trying to do best what they can. Even the people who are inside Canada, they are temporary residents. They are not Canadian citizens, right? They're not permanent residents. So it is working to somebody's advantage. In the long run, you will see a lot of benefit coming out of a lot of people. In the meantime, if you're a federal skilled worker, I know you're angry. I know you're upset. I know you're frustrated. I know you're irritated. And one of the reasons being because you don't know which way this is going to go. Keep in mind, PNP programs are still alive and kicking. With so many of these people who are going to now become permanent residents, 90,000 people, earlier 27,000, you know who lost out? The provinces lost out, the PNPs lost out, because most of these people would have actually been ideal candidates for the provincial nominee programs, and provinces would have taken these people. But with all of these now people now going into the federal pool, provinces now still have to figure out where the candidates are going to come from. So I expect provinces to be looking back outside Canada if they have to, because they have their requirements as well. They have to fill up their quotas as well. So I don't think everything is all doom and gloom. Yeah, well, we are dealing with the situation. It is pandemic, it is COVID, and until some time, till things come more in control, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. And I think we just need to keep our chin up and keep our hopes high and stay forever hopeful, just the way we are. And yeah, that's the only way to look at it. In the meantime, if you can add more to your scores, more to your points, then yes, that would always be advantageous. Okay, last question. I'm unable to get Qatar PCC for study permit because I don't live there anymore, and also because of pandemic. Can I explain an SOP about it? I don't think you need a PCC from Qatar for your study permit, but yes, if that is a requirement in your application, then by all means do explain, do show the efforts that you have taken, do provide all the proof that you have, and then explain and see what goes on. Okay, if you are looking to book an appointment, guys, one-on-one, so that we can understand more about your application, about your process, about what's going on, what's not working for you, that's the link. You can make an appointment. If you're wanting to get in touch with my team because you want us to handle your application, I am, by the way, ICCRC licensed immigration consultant. So if you're looking for legal representation with your IRCC application, then that's the email. Drop us a mail, and then hopefully we will come back to you and tell you what we can do for you. If you are not following me on Instagram, then you should. I don't know why you're not. And I don't see any likes yet. I have very, very few likes there. I mean, if you are still hanging out with me for 1.5 hours, then I'm hoping that my content today and my questions and answers that I gave were all satisfactory. I was able to answer most of your questions, hopefully. Then give us more likes. I want to see some more. Smash those thumbs up buttons and let's see those flowing. And if you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for, but then you should subscribe to the channel, because this is the channel that you should subscribe. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today, and I shall see you next time. Bye.